Hi, welcome back to our channel. I'm Jeff with 78th Canine, and I'm here with our pug Tank. And we are going to do a training tips with Tank today. We're going to talk about how to play with your dog. There's some good do's and don'ts, and we're going to go ahead and get into some of it right now. Stay tuned. Okay, now we're going to talk about some toys. It's really important that you become the most important thing with your dog, especially when it comes to play. You want to be the source of everything for your dog. You want your dog to look to you for interaction, for food, for water, and for obedience. It's very important. So the toys that I really like are toys that you're kind of the batteries to, that you make it happen. And it can be something as simple as a ball. I have a couple different sizes, depending on the dog. But you notice that this ball has a rope on it, which makes it very nice. This particular ball is a foam dog ball, which actually floats in water. The handle can be replaced if it gets chewed on accident, and it does not hurt the dog's teeth. So this is one toy that I really like because you can throw it for your dog. Your dog can learn to go get it, to retrieve it and bring it back to you. Then you can play tug with your dog. So that's my first thing. Now when you're playing with toys or letting your dog play with toys, you always want to supervise your dog. These kind of toys are not what we would say are chew toys. Chew toys would be like a bone, a pig hoof, an antler, or some kind of sheep's horn or something like that would be a chew toy that the dog can actually chew and consume part of it. We don't want a dog to chew and consume parts of these because they can actually get an intestinal blockage, which could be like a $5,000 surgery or actually cause your dog to lose its life. In leaving a dog to chew and work with toys unsupervised, you get toys like this. Where now this is more difficult to use because the dog had kind of self-satisfied on it or chewed the wrong part and damaged the toy. We don't want that, especially when we're spending a lot of money on toys. We want toys that last. A lot of different toys that I have right here. Here's another tug with handles on each end. This is a nice small tug that you can actually stick in your pocket, or you can put in like a sweatshirt pocket so that you could use it for a reward toy during training or just playtime or during walks or anything like that. Here's another style. This is a round, like a soft squishy ball with a handle. And we got like a cylinder toy right here that has handles on both ends. And one of my favorites that I use in my protection training a lot is this bite pad. It's similar to a bite pillow, but it's a lot more durable. There's been at least 100 dogs on this with several hours of work. None of the handles are damaged, none of the seams are damaged, it's not opened up. A lot of very big, strong dogs learning to bite and grip and pull have worked with this toy. I like it because your hands can be a lot safer away from the dog's mouth, which makes it a good benefit. Another toy that I really like is a flirt pole. This is a homemade do-it-yourself flirt pole with just some PVC piping and some paracord. And I have 3 different attachments. This is some burlap on the end that's not chemically treated, food-grade burlap. Then I have a natural rubber ball. Or I have a tug. And all 3 of those different toys can be stuck on the end of this pole, and you can play with your dog. You just kind of use it like a fishing pole. You can move it around and let your dog chase it, let your dog get it, let your dog play tug with it, but again, it's supervised and you're the center of the fun for that. Again, I strongly encourage you, do not let your dog just play with toys by themselves. We want you to be the interactive source, and all that kind of goes to obedience and behavior. If your dog is out and about and you call your dog, Fido, come! And we want Fido to get used to coming to you with a toy, having good fun and interaction, or getting a good boy pat on the head or maybe a treat. We want Fido to learn that coming to you has a reward and is a benefit. So dealing with like fetching and recall and tug and interactive play really helps a lot of obedience things. Another thing is once we develop some skills with a dog, it's also very important to let dogs kind of play with a toy themselves in a supervised format if you're going to introduce other dogs. We definitely don't want to have like 2 dogs and 1 ball because now we're going to have a fight on our hands. It's really important that when we get our dogs out, we're going to talk a little bit about how to let dogs play with another dog. But one thing is once they learn how to play with the toy, bring it back to you, and make you part of the event. This is a Jolly soccer ball. I believe that Chuck It also has some pretty big like foam balls that dogs can use too, depending on what you want for your dog's teeth. But this one can get a bunch of tooth holes in it, and it can keep its shape. It's a great toy too if you're introducing another, like a younger dog to an established dog pack, or you're letting multiple dogs play together. You can have those balls out for the dogs. The dogs can get that ball if they're trained in how to use that ball and play with it by themselves, and introduce them together, let them play out in the yard, and that ball is like a rabbit in their mouth. And that they have that ball, they have that thing in their mouth, that job to keep them busy, and that will stop the play turning into arousal, which can actually turn into aggression. It's no more than having toddlers maybe playing too long together, and then pretty soon they come to you crying and upset and everything because somebody called someone a sissy, or somebody pinched someone, or somebody sat on somebody, or someone did something, and it's usually just silly. And we don't want that to happen, so we can have a toy like this that every dog would have, and then the dogs can actually play with that toy, run around in the yard, and interact sort of together without just playing directly together. Now, I do let a couple of my dogs play together, but it's very limited. It might be 3 minutes, it might be 5 minutes, it might be 1 or 3 or 4 times a week. It's not like their go-to thing, but again, it is good to have some kind of interaction with the pack to let them kind of be able to sniff each other, to be together without having aggression. There's a lot of times I have 4 very high-drive, energetic dogs. They start to get a little too aroused, they start to get a little too excited, then I just put an end to the play. I don't want no one to get punished. I don't want someone to create a bad behavior where they start to get aggressive towards another dog. And I certainly don't want a dog to get traumatized by having aggression, on them. So it's very important to understand. When I start that with a dog, I might bring one dog out, teach them how to play with this toy, and let them play with that Jolly soccer ball. And then if I'm going to introduce 2 dogs, it's going to be the second dog would be an established dog that knows how to play, that might be a little better with other dogs. And I might have anywhere from 3 to 12 Jolly balls out with 2 dogs. I want to have an abundance of resource for those dogs. And I let those dogs play, I let those dogs learn to get along together, then I can introduce another dog and another dog. This is something you don't want to throw one dog into a pack of 5 other dogs. And dealing with multiple dogs is a whole other topic. It's really important if you want to have other dogs or introduce other dogs into your household that you maybe have a dog that's at least a year and a half old. Then you can introduce a puppy and let that dog be a mentor to that puppy. You do have to let the animals respect each other's space and boundaries. We don't want someone walking all over us or getting up in our face as humans even. So I'm pretty sure a dog doesn't want the same thing. It's really important that if we do rescue or adopt or get rehomed another dog to us that's a more grown dog, even a 6-month-old dog can really cause challenges and change the dynamics in a pack. And it can lead to some arousal, aggression, and fights. And some of those fights could really develop bad behaviors or even send a dog to the vet. And we don't want those kinds of things. So we're going to go ahead and move on to some different things about play and how it's going to build into obedience. Okay, so there's a lot of times I even hear from people that my dog doesn't like to play with toys, or my dog destroys toys. It's really important to not have any toys in the house laying around for the dog. We don't want to let the dog self-satisfy. We don't want the dog to destroy the toys. We don't want the dog to accidentally swallow pieces of the toys. And we want to make the toys have a higher value. So it is important that I don't allow play inside the house. It's more quiet time, or you can lay on your dog bed and chew a chew toy for a little bit, as long as it's not being, chewed too aggressively to hurt your teeth. But I don't want my dogs to just go and play with toys whenever they want. So one good rule first is to pick up any and all toys that you have laying around the house. Only get toys out for a certain period of time, like recess at school. The kids don't play dodgeball or baseball or basketball the whole school session. They only do it during recesses or those appropriate times. We want to do the right thing for our dogs as well. Another thing that we want to do is if our dog's not wanting to play with us with a toy, then we've not really set the right boundaries of our dog learning to trust us, to respect us, to love us. We haven't developed that bond, relationship, or that leadership or teamwork that we need with our dogs. So those would be some other things that we need to do. So I got Roscoe out right here because we're going to talk about another thing too that we'll see if he does his normal move for us today. So I got his toy. Ooh, yeah. And I can play a little tug with my dog. Ooh. And if I let go of it, will he bring it back to me? Or does he like to walk off and do his own thing, just like that? So some dogs like to run off with a toy. And even with all of my different training methods, this dog has that kind of personality. So let's see if we can encourage him to bring the toy back to us, or we'll show you some ways to get a dog to do that with you. Roscoe. Come here, buddy. Come here, Roscoe. Yeah, good boy. Now it's important that when the dog has the toy with me, I let the dog win, Roscoe, and I encourage him to bring it back to me. Okay, so Roscoe did pretty good right there. But let's show you some examples of how we can do stuff with our dog. If we're out at a park or don't have a fenced-in yard, we might want to use a leash. Roscoe, come. Good boy. Sit. Good, sit. I could have my dog on a leash, and if he goes off, I can, Roscoe, pull him into me, grab the toy and play. Oh, and again, let the dog win, and let the dog be a winner, just like you would let a toddler be a winner, maybe if you're playing checkers, right? A different variation with this, Roscoe, out. Good boy. Leave it. We're going to get you off the stage, right? Is I can have my toy on a leash or a rope. Or if I got my toy with my dog, and I let them get the toy, get this one. Good boy. I can reel the toy in if my dog will hold on to the toy and still play tug. And have fun with my dog again. Oh, always let your dog win. It's really important. Some dogs that might be a little reactive, or dog or people aggressive or reactive, might be a good idea to let them carry a toy on a walk. And that will occupy their mind, and that will definitely keep them from barking or biting or being aggressive towards somebody. So, Roscoe, I appreciate your help today, buddy. He's a big nose dog. He's sniffing around where another dog was in class yesterday. Roscoe, come. Good boy. Place. Good job, buddy. Glide. Get back up there. Good boy. Okay, so when I play with my little pug, my buddy Tank, I usually use a soft chuck-it frisbee, a little teeny tiny tug rope, and a little teeny tiny tennis ball, just because he's a little bit different. Let's give it a shot and see how it goes. Tank, come here, buddy. Yeah, come here, Bella. Come here, Bella. Bring it back to Papa. Come here. Come here. Tank, come! Come here, buddy! Oh, we're gonna have to get rid of the dog place, aren't we? I want to get that from you. Come on over here. We're gonna try to rope this time. Good boy! Get it, buddy! Get the rope! Come on, bring it to Papa! Oh, he wants the ball. Woo. Yeah! Come here, buddy! I want to get that from you. Good boy! Come here! Did you frisbee? Get it? Oh, he wants the ball. Come on, bring it to that. Oh. Woo. So having a variety of toys is good because it all depends on what your dog wants. Today he wants to play with the ball. Good boy, buddy. Hey, for me and Tate, thanks for watching.
Okay, here we have a breeding pair, male and female Belgian Malinois, and letting them just play together. I stay out there and always monitor the play. If it becomes too aggressive, too arousal, or if they're trying to interact in other ways that we don't want, go ahead and just put a stop to it. But this is a good way for dogs to interact and develop some pack boundaries and guidelines and have a connection to each other. Now in this segment, we're showing the same two dogs, and now they're out playing and they have a ball. Each of them have something that they can have for themselves. We mix in some obedience where they come to me with the toy, and I give them like an out command or a down command, and I kick the ball for them. Always be sure to praise your dog when they're doing good and make their play structured.
Good boy, good girl.
Mentally, physically, and to keep them safe.